everybody. Here we are again at Treasures and Creations, and today we're going to talk about amethyst.
This is amethyst. Now, amethyst is a very interesting stone crystal. It comes in many forms. As you can see, we have all kinds of things on the table that are all a form of amethyst. And this is absolutely beautiful. It comes out of Brazil. And then they'll just take the point or the towel and they'll polish it up really beautiful. This is a stunning piece because it has all kinds of rainbows and all kinds of things going on in it. We have these in different sizes. And then there's a type of amethyst that they call banded or chevron amethyst. And this is a little free form that our rockhound buddy did. He got some amethyst and he made this cool little, it's called a free form because it's not exactly a specific shape. It's like freestyle skiing. Whee! You just kind of do whatever. And then you end up with a really cool product. So
let's get back to banded amethyst. We talked about banded amethyst previously in the last episode, and I also told you that sometimes it looks like chevrons. So this is Gandalf, and Gandalf has been with us since very early on.
About 3 years.
In our company. Gandalf is one of our first, and still is, our mascot. We don't bring him out very often because somebody picked him up and I thought he was going to break him that day. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, and it's a little harder to see because of all the beautiful carving, but there's a couple of spots, if you look in here, where it starts to look like a chevron. Okay? And that's why they call it chevron amethyst, is because it starts to look more like a chevron. If it was big and flat, you would see the chevrons real easy. But banded amethyst and chevron amethyst are pretty much the same.
The banding in it is actually quartz. And there's a rough piece right here on the front. So this is a rough piece of banded or chevron amethyst. You can kind of see the line of quartz going through it. And it'll form very differently than a geode or, a cluster or things like that. The way it forms is very different. We have some really cute little amethyst geodes here. These are out of Brazil. And there's little tiny amethyst points in them. They're just fun little geodes. The kids love these, but anybody 4'11.5" and down, we all love these. These are beautiful. They're really kind of fun. You
can actually find geodes with amethyst in them here in Utah as well. And amethyst comes from all over the world. Some of the most popular amethyst comes from Canada, Brazil, Uruguay. We've had it from Turkey. Bolivia.
Oh, I didn't bring any of the Bolivian ones out.
I can get a Bolivian one. Go ahead and talk.
All right, he's going to get a Bolivian one so we can see what that looks like. But the one thing that all of the amethysts have in common is that beautiful purple color. It can be anything from deep and juicy like this little guy. He's actually from Uruguay, and Uruguay is known for smaller points and a really deep, juicy color. And that very beautiful. So there's also a northern Brazil amethyst that forms very different. Hopefully he'll grab one of those. I neglected to get one of those. But we have here little ones, and these are called dragon tooth amethyst. And these look like they're little points, and what they've done is these come from northern Brazil amethyst. And what they've done is they've had the way a northern Brazil amethyst forms is kind of up. And they'll have all these little points, and they'll harvest them off of there to sell just the points. He's going to get one. And these little guys, they're also called dragon tooth, but you can see the banding in these, or the chevrons. So these are more of a banded, smoky amethyst. You can see the color in them is so deep it's almost black, but it is indeed an amethyst. These are really great. We have these. People like them to put in medicine bags. They like to wire wrap with them, put them in their pocket, use them as altar pieces. So those are just some suggestions. Clearly you wouldn't put this in your pocket. However, that does make a nice window piece or a beautiful piece in your living room, a great conversation piece. If The energy of the stones isn't something that you work with. It doesn't mean you can't put a beautiful piece in your home. It will be very calming, and you'll get a lot of compliments on it. So,
all right, so Trish was telling you about the dragon's tooth down there. So it starts out like this. These are actually young crystals, young being thousands of years instead of multi-millions of years. And so this is a cluster just kind of young. Then you can as they grow older, they start to look like this, and they will actually have a big long tail on them that comes down about like this when they're in these clusters because they get really big. What happens is in the industry, they will take and they'll break the bottom out so that they can make carvings. Okay, and some of the carvings, I thought you had a carving out here.
I have a Buddha.
Okay, some of the carvings will be Buddha, you know, or Ganesh, or
a Merkaba.
A Merkaba, or they'll carve a dual term out of it. This one is probably carved out of something instead. I don't think that's a natural dual term. I get it, but you could still get it out of one of these.
Yeah, and this point would be a really good example because you can see how it goes almost clear, and that would be from that tail where you have less of the purple and more of the quartz, because amethyst is quartz based.
Now we were talking about Bolivia. This is from Bolivia, and you can see this. The purple is very different in color. It's still purple, it's just a different shade. And these are a little bit spendy because they're popular, but there's not a lot of them. So, and you can notice that you can see down the purple's just kind of up at the top. And no, this is not man enhanced. This is natural from Bolivia, and that's part of the reason that it costs what it costs. Now I brought out, what else did I bring out? Did you show that other one that I brought out?
I don't know what you brought out. We brought all kinds of things. This piece right here would be your typical Southern Brazil amethyst. And this would be out of, you'll have the big geodes or cathedrals or churches. They have many names. And this would be out of one of those that may have been broken, so they have taken pieces. But you can see how big and beautiful those crystals are. And sometimes when you look in them, you'll see these little like black spots. That's cacoxenate. That's very natural and very normal with amethyst. If you remember on our last episode when we talked about that heat-treated amethyst that they turned to citrine, and that one we showed with all the cacoxenate in it, the proof is in the pudding. I'm not sure I'd make pudding out of it, but you never know.
Okay, so
then there's this one here. You have his magic balls are on there, or spheres.
Spheres.
Magic spheres, yes. Magic everywhere. This is another really cool piece. This is Southern Brazil with some big juicy crystals. And right here is a piece of calcite. Now, it's not as common for the calcite, but it's not super uncommon either. This one is really neat. I'm not sure you can catch it, but there's some beautiful druzy around the edge. Now, druzy means, to me, little teensy-weensy baby crystals. I'm not a geologist, so I'll use what terms work for me. I feel like most of you will get my terms, so we'll work with that.
Okay, so here's a couple of examples of what's called rose amethyst. And this one is actually just a piece that's been cut in half and laid open. And you can see, I hope you can see, the beautiful, she's talking about druzy, and a lot of this growth in here that sparkles while I turn it is little tiny crystals, then they call it druzy, okay?
And they'll call this rose or pink amethyst. Now, the rose or pink amethyst that we have has all come from the Rio Grande do Sul mine in Brazil. And this is beautiful amethyst. They've been pulling it out not near as long as the...
They've been pulling it out for about 2 years maybe, is the best information we can have. The largest amethyst dealer in the country seems to be buying what they call run of the mine, and that means he's buying everything they're producing. So all of us that do have pieces of it get to go to this one particular place to get it, which makes it easy because, you know, we all know what the price is.
Lots of choices in one place.
Right.
Now, a lot of times this is what's really neat. Is this bigger one, you can see all that druzy in there, all that sparkle, the little crystals.
I'm going to turn it around so you can see what it looks like on the outside.
Now, if I was walking around and I saw this on the ground, I may think, that's interesting, but I would not know about the beauty on the inside. So what I like to compare this to is us as human beings. We have this interesting outside, but inside we're all glorious and beautiful. And I know I've said that before, and I will continue to say it because this is truly who we are. All of these crystals are a reflection of us. So another little geode we have here, and this gives you a really good example of a geode that I can actually pick up and hold. This is a little one, but you can see in here again, I must have a thing for druzy. We have a lot of druzy here today. Something about little, I guess. But this is beautiful. It's got all the little druzy amethyst crystals in there. But what makes it a geode is the fact that it's like a big stone, and they'll cut it open, and you'll see the beauty on the inside. Now, when you have a geode, it is not uncommon for them to paint it and put some stabilizer on it just to be sure it stays together. And on these, there is a layer of agate on the outside surface. So as it forms, you're going to get the agate, which is quartz, and then it goes to the amethyst, and it's all going to depend on the conditions of the ground, the type of minerals there, the amount of heat, cold, compression, and things like that.
So I picked up a piece here that's going to show you how crystals actually grow. You can see the growth, what we call growth rings in the rock. It really does have growth rings, okay? And this is what we're calling banded amethyst, okay? And you can see that sometimes it forms a crystal point, and sometimes it's formed in a big rock, a huge piece that they cut and then they carve to make different pieces out of it. So amethyst comes in many different forms depending on where you're getting it from around the world, you know, and so that's a little bit about that.
So this sphere right here, it's open, which makes it really cool because you can see the crystals. But if I turn it around, you can really see all the quartz on it. So this would have been a part of a geode, but they took all of the back, or the host rock, or the matrix off, and they were able to create this beautiful sphere out of it with these amazing points. This guy is really cool. He kind of reminds me, he's an amethyst Pac-Man, waka, 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 waka. Well, now you know you're going to get silly stuff on here, so I had to add my 2 cents worth. So that's my amethyst Pac-Man. He's really cool. And then this sphere, we've been talking so much about banded amethyst. This sphere has actually been created out of where they'll find a big vein or rock, boulder, of the banded amethyst, and they'll create a sphere. And this guy's really cool.
He's got a vug. Show him the vug.
It has what's called a vug, V-U-G-G. Not a bug. First time I heard it, I thought, a bug? There's a bug in the rock? And that is a geologic term or rockhound term, whichever. But what that is, it's like a little cave in the rock. And the water will form a cave, the water goes away, and little druzy crystals form. There we are with the druzy again. Maybe this class is all about druzy today.
Well, you like little, so...
So some of the tools that they create with amethyst, this would be considered a wand. You can use it as a Harry Potter wand, or because this has a round end, it makes it a really good massage tool. I was just going to give him a massage, but he left, so I'll just show on myself. So you would use the round end, and you would hold it, you would grab it and wrap your hand around it, and you would just simply massage the muscle or the achy spot. And that would work really good. Now this one is terminated or comes to a point, and it's faceted. Now the reason for that is bringing the energy laser focused. So the different practitioners that work with energy, clearing chakras, moving blockages and things like that would use this tool for that. amethyst, the metaphysical properties, this is a third eye stone. It's also a nice unicorn horn, and we all love unicorns, don't we? So, so this would be really good for being a stone to open up your third eye, which is all about spirituality. And along with that, amethyst is a great stone for release of addictive behaviors or behaviors that don't work. So, and we have talked about that before, but this is a really beautiful, this is one type of a wand. Rodney has one he's really excited to show you.
So as you can see here in this, here's some tumbled amethyst that have been put in this beautiful wand, and then one of the end pieces of the wand is also amethyst.
Now this would be a southern Brazil point. That's a beautiful, beautiful point.
So it depends on who you are, what you want to achieve, but there's many ways to do that. And different people do it differently. This is a beautiful wand. This one happens to be designed for, its particular use is prosperity. Okay, I have one at home of my own, and this is one that we do have here at the shop. We've gotten a couple of smaller ones, and they always fly out the door real quick because everybody wants prosperity. So we do have one larger one, and I tell you, they're just something else to hold and to experience because of the different. It has some citrine, natural citrine tumbled in it. And I don't remember all the different pieces that are in it, but
Peridot.
It's got peridot, citrine, amethyst, and something else.
We have a lot of something else's. I saw a thing on Facebook that they call rocks like that confusionite. We all have some confusionite. Well, this is a cool rock. What is it? But nobody seems to know. They now have a name. It's confusionite. So till further notice and we get a label, we'll just call it confusionite.
Okay, so you might have noticed this beautiful painting behind us. We have a friend, Renee, and I'll be darned if I can pronounce her last name. We'll bring her on the show and let her tell you what her last name is. She is this amazing artist, and this one happens to be in gold leaf. I believe that somebody has decided to take this home with them. So I just thought we would put it on the show while we still had an opportunity so that we'll have a wonderful memory of when this beautiful piece was with us, because we have a lot of Renee's things, paintings here, and other wonderful artists that consent to having their artwork here in our store. Pretty much most of the art pieces in here are on consignment. They're for sale. However, I've acquired a few of them myself, and I don't intend to let mine go. So just
by mine, he means ours, just saying. Because if it's his, it's mine, and if it's mine, it's mine, so it's all mine.
I may be the CEO, but she's definitely the boss, okay? So we all know that. Ask her, she'll tell you. Okay.
I just work here.
Yeah, right.
Hey, so what we have decided to do, because we've done a few giveaways in the past where we do a raffle, and we have decided that it's time to do another raffle. So we've chosen this amazing piece. We're actually going to raffle it off. Now, the first thing a lot of people say when they look at that is, ooh, Texas. It does. It looks like Texas. Or Africa. Where'd I get Texas?
I have no idea.
I guess because it's bigger than this one, and things in Texas are big. So it's Africa, Texas.
It looks like Africa. Most people say Africa. Where the hell she came up with Texas, I have no idea. But, you know, that's these little people, you know. They come up with their own ideas.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start the raffle on March 1st. That's when tickets will be available. Tickets will be $5 each. And we're going to go until March 31st.
31st at 8:30 p.m., which we will have a drawing. It's a Tuesday. We will have a drawing here in the shop.
We'll do a live.
I guarantee you we'll be live. And I can tell you that there will be quite a few people here to experience the drawing because everybody really likes the pieces that we choose for the drawing. Now, here's the deal. It's $5 per ticket. Buy 10 tickets and we'll give you one free.
Everybody likes free. Buy 10, get one free.
So I'm going to have our wonderful camera lady focus on this for a minute because I'm going to be real honest. I'm going to read you something. Okay? All right, here we go. Focus on that for a minute. All right, so this is all about the meaning of pink amethyst. Pink amethyst is the soft-hued feminine version of darker purple amethyst, but don't mistake its softness for weakness. This stone is full of powerful effects, and you can expect any of the following influences with a pink amethyst when a pink amethyst is nearby. Here we go. Listen to this. This amazed me when we looked this up. A cleansing of energy in a particular space or a person. Amethysts are a form of quartz and as such possess similar cleansing characteristics. These stones are known for their abilities to absorb questionable, neutral, and bad energies, cleanse and release them back out into the surrounding space. A movement toward emotional balance and overall peace. This stone is known to instill feelings of understanding, calmness, trust, and grace. Here we go. This is a whole page full of info. It's cool. Increased intuition and clarity. Whether wearing your pink amethyst or keeping it nearby throughout the day, don't be surprised if a deep sense of knowing washes over you. An opening of the heart chakra, the fourth energy center in the body, thereby allowing a person to more readily offer and accept love, tolerance, and loving thoughts into their experience. It may be especially effective for anyone enduring feelings of stress, sadness, or grief. Lucid dreaming, here we go, cool. You might notice that after an evening of wearing your pink amethyst to bed or placing it beneath your pillow, I don't think that'll fit beneath your pillow, but...
You can put it on your nightstand.
You can put it on your nightstand.
I wouldn't recommend wearing it either, but that's up to you.
You will awaken with a clear memory of what you dreamt about. Feelings of security and protection from injury or harm, at times physical, but more often emotional turmoil that may stem from a relationship where loss or betrayal was a predominant factor. All right, so here we go. We're going to give you some different alternatives or options on ways to contact us so that you can participate in this drawing. And we've already shipped to 8 different countries around the world, so I don't care where you are in the world, if you enter the drawing and you win, we'll see to it that this gets shipped.
Safely.
Now, you know, we got to talk about that if it gets ridiculous, but as far as I know, we've shipped to China and only spent about $80, so it's not that bad. For those of you who have ever thought about coming to Salt Lake City, come see us. We're located at 3419 South State Street. They call it South Salt Lake. Everybody else would go, you know, that's technically the address.
That's Utah, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, well, most people would just say it's in Salt Lake City, 3419 South State Street. Tell you what, call us, 801-679-1717.
I want to thank you all for watching, and we look forward to more fun and games with this, because who knows where we're going to go next.
Stay tuned, because you're going to want to find out who the lucky person was that wins this beautiful piece.
Maybe it's you.
I read all those really cool things that this can do for you. All right? And yes, I read them. There was so many of them, I couldn't remember them all.
It will be, whoever wins it will experience beautiful things with it. It may not be everything on the list. It may be more. Who knows? Because it'll be a beautiful experience. One
more time, I'm going to show you. Look what it looks like. You would walk right by this in nature going, I don't even know what that is, right? And yet, when you open it up, and that's just like my wife says, what's inside us as human beings, the real people that we are.
This is the true divinity here.
This is just awesome. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.